1-800-920-1140. We'll take your phone calls. It's Ishmael. Good morning, Ishmael. And can I call you Ishmael, or is it don't call me Ishmael?
No, I'll make an exception. You can call me Ishmael.
Thank you, Ishmael. How have you been? How was your off season, Ishmael? Always love your calls.
Off season was good.
Yeah.
I think we reached sort of a point where we knew what to expect for the season. So I know a lot of people are really upset with last night. I don't look at it that way because the thing is, with the defensive intensity thing, a lot of people are going to think, where's the results, and blah, 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 and they're going to get mad at Doug Christie and stuff. But if you look at it from Doug Christie's perspective, starting lineup is going to have a 36-year-old DeMar DeRozan. Levine's going to be 31 this year. Sabonis is 30 this year. Schroeder, I think, turns 33 this year. That's a lot of old dogs to teach new tricks to become like defensively engaged guys at this stage in their career. Keegan apparently ate it up immediately, which is very encouraging to see. And that lets me know that it's probably working in the long term. But the one thing is for this season, just one quick note that I'm monitoring. I know it's going to be a bleak season, but I'd like a bright spot. There was bad years we could at least watch Fox. Bad years we could at least watch DeMarcus Cousins. This year, though, I'm focused on Keegan Murray. And last year, it was a career low in field goal attempts, a career low in three-point attempts, a career low in free throw attempts. These are per 36. And I'm looking at the team this year, and I don't see Keegan getting that many opportunities to really develop his game as an overall player. We know he's a good defender. We knew that going in, but I just feel like this organization, the way it's been built, has pigeonholed him almost intentionally into maxing out as just a 3-and-D guy, which is fine, but he's just never really had a chance to have sets run for him, plays run for him consistently, shine in like a blackout, which actually helps young players. And now in our starting lineup, he's probably going to be fifth in field goal attempts in our starting lineup, which is going to be depressing to see and going to be really sort of a tough watch after the 30th game of the year or whatever.
I think it all, and thank you, Ishmael, as always. Mm-hmm. I think it just depends on what I've been doing everything I can to set expectations for myself and anyone who cares. But I do think it depends on what are your expectations and what are your goals for the season. What do you want out of this season? What are your expectations? And I think maybe more than any other time, I think the Kings fan base is kind of fractioned into do you play to win the game? Do you want to see the maximum amount of wins, which is the normal way to think? Or do you want this team in rebuild mode? Do you want to see them, is where I would fall, get rid of the veteran high-priced talent and maximize draft picks and young players and build for the future, which has nothing to do with wins for me. Ishmael mentioned Doug Christie. I don't know how much we're going to be able to grade Doug Christie this year because, again, you're asking cats to moo. He's asking things of certain players that I just don't. I don't think it was a coincidence last night that there were certain people that picked up those defensive cues and some that didn't. That being said, vets are going to be a lot less likely to do that because they've been through the grind of the season before and they're not trying to compete for a roster spot. So why are they going to extend that energy in game one of the preseason when they know exactly what they need to do and they want that energy to be extended sometime in December or January?
Yeah, I think last night would be one that I was talking about this in the postgame with Henry, that it's not even a game film that they would need to watch to see the difference of the intensity of the defense between I won't even say the second group, but the last group that was on the floor versus the first group. Now, there's reasons for that too. One, maybe Toronto's up comfortably. It's also Toronto's third group out there or whatever. But that point being, I think the things that Doug was looking for was shown more by the last group. Now, again, this is the push and pull we've talked about with this roster, the way it's constructed. Their best offensive players are in their starting lineup.
That's right.
There's no doubt about that. They're not their best defensive players. So we're hearing defense, and I don't blame them for saying that. Mm-hmm. Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, put them. Keegan and Schroeder. I don't think Schroeder showed himself that way yesterday.
I agree,
but I'm going to put Monk up there. Like the guys that are going to play don't fall in line with their best defenders. So I'm trying to. That to me is the mismatch. And besides size and different, it's like I'm hearing the messaging. I know what they want.
Yeah.
And you could have a lineup where you play all your defensive guys, and there might be some nights like they can't score. So it's it's the way they're kind of constructed. And if they can find a sweet spot in between, which that's going to be on Doug and the players too. And I think it's more than fair to ask for more from Zach LaVine, DeRozan, and Sabonis to defend.
Yes.
And again, I don't think anyone's going to confuse them for being on the All-NBA team. But we're looking at other teams that over time, oh, look, they got better defensively as the year went along. I've never thought of Steph Curry as a great defender, but team defense and concepts and working at it and a desire to help the team has happened at times for them. So, it was game one. I didn't love that first group really at all.
No.
But I'm not going to say that's the way the entirety of the season's going to go, but when it's your first impression, it wasn't very good.
Question 2.
Question 2.
Wait, did we do question 1?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't think I asked it.
We didn't. You didn't ask question 1?
No.
Oh. Hello. Okay. Well, question 1 was, what was your biggest takeaway from
Which you
last
guys
night's
did.
Kings game? My biggest takeaway was they didn't look great, mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got one other one that, again, for one game, one visual. One of the things I was intrigued by was Schroeder. I thought there was this is a guy that was in Eurobasket MVP.
Yeah.
He's going to be like ready to go. I was like,
well,
I didn't see a lot of that yesterday. Again, it's not a full on indictment of him, but after him, like when it's like, hey, look, Keon can play point guard, Carter, Malik Monk.
Yeah.
Until like Stevens came in at the very end,
Yeah.
the point guard play was awful.
Yeah.
So like they couldn't function as an offense. And that's where like for a moment last night I go, I don't love the idea of Westbrook, but I go, I kind of see how, I don't know that I would do it, but you go, they don't need another guard, but point guard play was bad.
Yeah.
And to just go and function, not why they lost, but that was another takeaway. He wasn't great, and then the others until they kind of got to Stevens was like, yeah. Though Neek, I think, can do it. I think that's a guy that can maybe make some decisions that way. Might be a stretch, but
I liked his spacing last night. Mm-hmm. He has a feel for that.
yes, he does.
Number 2, please.
What was your favorite part of last night's game?
The end, before the end of the fourth quarter. That right there to me is, and I said this, give me that and 20 to 25 wins this year and developing and playing our youth and our core future pieces. You're not going to win you're going to win a lot of games, but you're going to figure out real quick who is who and what is what. I would so much rather see that than this mishmash of mismatched pieces on offense play. It's my turn offense, and absolutely not care on defense at all. The first 3 quarters plus part of the fourth was just annoying and bad. And then you see the youth get in there. You see Dylan Cardwell with that awesome dunk. You see Clifford with his spin moves. Reynaud with a couple of good dunks and drawing foul. You just saw this heart and this hustle and this energy instead of what is likely. I mean, here's the thing that has nothing to do with the preseason, but I'm just going to throw something out there because I think it needs to be on people's radars. You understand that, like, there's a really good possibility that your veterans just don't want to be here. This is basketball hell. They know it. You think we're talking about how this is going to be a year? Imagine what they're talking about, what they're talking about with their agents and their families. And it's not like Sacramento is some, like, amazing place to live from an NBA. I love it. You love it. But from an NBA standpoint, it's not LA, New York, Toronto, Chicago, blah, 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 blah. So they're stuck in this outpost of basketball hell in this misshapen franchise, knowing they're going to win 30 to 40 games and be completely irrelevant. Oh, yeah, they're super going to want to pick up defense at 94 feet. No, they're going to scratch themselves, go out there, go through the motions, do their thing. They'll have some great nights. They're going to look for their numbers, look for their stats, and hope the hell that their agent, Scott Perry, get them the hell out of here. Like, we don't mention that enough, but I'm telling you, there's a real – I don't want to speak for these guys. There's a real good possibility that's where we're at. So if you're looking for like these guys to be like, oh man, I'm buying in, and then you're sitting there and you're going, well, Doug Chris needs to do a better job. No, Doug can only do so much. I don't know if Doug's a good coach. Doug might suck as a coach. I don't know. I'd like to think he'll be a great coach. I hope he will be. I don't know. What I can tell you is you can look and see, and whether it's preseason or regular season, like look at the heart and hustle last night and how engaged these guys are. They're fighting for roster spots. They're trying to figure it out. Give me that for 82 games. I do not care about Zach LaVine, Domantas Sabonis, and DeMar DeRozan farting their way to 40 wins and a play-in loss.
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, my favorite. I mean, I'm with you on my favorite part would be the end. I mean, I think the reminder of watching the game in person was what we talked about yesterday. Like, hey, football's here, the preseason, first preseason game. You're like, yeah, I don't really care.
Right.
So I wasn't that. It was boring.
Yeah.
It became interesting with the last group. Interesting in the sense of how they played, how much desire they had. And then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, can they win the game? Like I really didn't care if they won.
100%.
They have a scoreboard. You're out there. You compete. They should try to win. And at that point, you're like, they've made this actually compelling. So good job by the last group. And it's the last group. It was their last group. But they fought.
That's right.
And that part was interesting.
That leads perfectly into question number 3.
Question 3.
Which player gets your game ball?
No player gets my game ball. I'm going to be cheesy here for a second, but it was my bright spot last night. Other than the kids playing well at the end, I had this existential moment, and it's just part of my lifelong love affair with Kings fans. My game ball goes to the crowd.
Gosh, you're just lame.
It is the fourth quarter of the first preseason game, of which they've been getting their asses beat all night long. And so much of that crowd on a school night, school is in session, and it was a Wednesday night. Not only do they stick around, but then you have a bunch of guys, many of them have never heard of or are brand new, and they're out on the floor, and they're running around, and they're diving, and they're trapping, and they're forcing turnovers. And at one point, the Kings had cut it, I think, to 8, and they took a timeout, and the crowd was just bonkers. The crowd was as loud as some other crowds are in the middle of playoff games, and we're talking about this stupid preseason game. And I sat there and I went, it's once again one of the reasons I get so fired up is because these fans are so awesome. They deserve so much more. And I was just really proud of them. I sat there and I was like, dude, we have the best fans, man. We really have the best fans.
Chris, you were sitting in attendance. Did you feel that?
Did I feel the
Just how great the fans
energy?
were?
It's stupid.
Was there a drive
yeah.
to be great?
It was really fun. Like, it was one of those things of like everyone was kind of waiting to get really excited.
Right.
And
like
then,
they were like a slingshot pulled back.
There was a couple times of the games where it'd get close and you kind of hear it. And then when you just saw it was also, I will say this too, like both teams just had all their bench players. A lot of these guys are just like fighting to stay up with the team.
That's right.
Just seeing them go, both sides just go absolutely 100% all out was really fun to see last night.
That Cardwell dunk, I mean, got the
Oh,
place
my God.
going. The bench, I mean, the veterans were like, they were going nuts. I'm like, great, that's awesome.
It was really cool seeing Neek too. He
Yeah.
looked comfortable, which is really cool to
very
see.
smooth.
And by the way, the thing with Neek that kind of slipped through the cracks, that really, really impressed me. I mentioned his spacing before, just that feel you can see.
He
But
also had a double-double.
24 minutes. He had 10 points and 9 assists to go with 2 steals. That's not bad work for 24 minutes.
Yeah, and again, I remember seeing him in Vegas and being impressed. I get the feeling, like in the second half, they didn't really start out well, but I was happy that he started. Zach LaVine played the first half, took a shower, and was basically like in his street clothes. He was told he wasn't going to play in the second half. There was no injury there or anything. And that was fine, but I go, oh, good. Neek's with like the starting group. Because I feel like he's the kind of player, he's like a chameleon. He'll fit in kind of anywhere. And if you put him around, like Sabonis and DeRozan, I'm like, that's good. Get him with the really gifted players. I want to see that more. I want to see him kind of in that mix. And maybe that's the hybrid that I know what you desire, and you're not alone. There's others, and there's others that don't want that, and that's fine. But maybe they can land in a hybrid of like, all right, there's some veterans that are going to play. Just if they're on the roster, they're going to play.
Yeah.
But can Clifford be an important part where you go, all right, kind of like where the Beam team year was really around Fox and Sabonis, who were the anchor pieces.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, Keegan might be something.
That's
so
right.
that's like, okay, he's got to be in here, and you play your Barnes and Herter and Monk at that time. I just hope Clifford and maybe Reynaud or someone else in that younger group is like more prominent in the rotation as the season goes along.
That's what I hope. And that's why, and again, I'll say it every time until people start saying they're tired of it, and then I'll say it after that. No disrespect to DeRozan, no disrespect to Levine. They're both fine players to fantastic players that I'm sure would be fine with going to a contender or somewhere else.
Yeah.
Every second they're on the team to me is a waste because they're hungry. They got to get theirs. And I don't care about Zach LaVine scoring 24 points. I do not care about DeMar DeRozan scoring 24 points. Every time they take a shot, for me, that's a shot that's a shot that Nate Clifford isn't taking. That's a shot that Keegan Murray isn't taking. And I don't include Sabonis in that category, although I would get it. He probably has more trade value than anyone. But I don't include Sabonis in that category because we're talking about a guy who gets 19 points a game, 20 points a game, but I swear to God, like 70% of that comes from rebounds and putbacks and making his own offense. Like Sabonis isn't a hungry offensive player like Levine or DeRozan. And Sabonis can also facilitate and I think provide, and he loves that DHO. I think Sabonis can actually help our young guys develop. I don't see Levine and DeRozan, other than, the vet knowledge and they're good guys and all that, I get that. I don't see them helping them develop on the floor. So for me, I don't know. I need them to go, please. JR, good morning.
Sacramento Kings farting their way to 40 wins.
That's our slogan.
I'm going to make a T-shirt. Dave, you're kind of bringing us down. I had like a positive call and everything, but they don't want to be here. This is a terrible city.
No, it's a great city. I said from an NBA standpoint, these guys aren't like, Sacramento. Like, I love it.
Okay. Well, Israel is too smart for this show, by the way. Dude gave me knowledge.
Ishmael,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then last week, Paul was too polite for the show. So I don't know what you're running. I don't know what's going on there, J. Ross.
A sham of an operation.
Chris, dude, pull the cord or something. But hey, sorry about your Yankees yesterday, J. Ross.
Are you?
But I do want to. I know, because I want to see Canada win the World Series. It would be nothing better, based on this year, to have the 51st state win the freaking World Series. Woo!
Okay.
Well, better luck next year.
I don't know. Was that the JR? I don't know what the hell he's doing.
It wasn't a Jason.
Oh, that JR? That's the one in our room? Or Jason Ross. I would say this. Look, I understand that it's game one. And I even saw some media people who are like, yeah, are you drawing a conclusion from game one? Calm down. Here's why. Like, we all understand it's game one of the preseason, right? This isn't a narrative setter and nothing is set in stone. I would just simply offer this. Let's say last night's game, everything is exactly the same. 100%.
Okay.
Score, points, everything. All I want you to do is take the jerseys, and I want you to switch teams. What if the Sacramento Kings won last night and they played like Toronto did, specifically defensively? You can shut your ass if you're going to convince me that everybody in this town wouldn't be like, not only did we win, but the way they picked up that defense 94 feet, the way they were all over that, like they made the turnovers, and yeah, they let it go a little bit in the fourth, but that's because everybody threw in their kids, and who cares? But man, the way they were committed, we would be over, myself included. I would too. You
would be confused.
I would be
because you're already in the mindset you don't want the veterans, that you don't want the way this team is constructed.
Yes.
So if they played that way,
yes, I would be pleasantly surprised. I'd be like, I didn't expect this.
But you wouldn't expect more of it. You thought that would have been a one game.
Let me be fair here. Hold on. Let me think about that.
Your mind's already set. You want this roster to be different.
I do want this roster to be
So
different.
a game like last night, they'll play a game like that. Well, they'll beat somebody where we'll go, wow. Just on a game of its own where they could be 3-9 in that 13th game, like, wow, they look great tonight.
Right.
That'll happen.
Yes.
But
that's,
you're not expecting a bunch of that.
No, I'm not. I'm 100% not. I'm saying, and that's why I'm saying.
So is it fair, though? I'm not saying this.
Yeah.
Will we expect a bunch of last night? I don't know. It wasn't very good.
Well, the reason why I expect a bunch of last night is because if you close your eyes and tilt your head sideways, that's a game last December.
Yeah.
The Kings are leaving guys wide open under the basket for easy dunks.
Yeah.
Every team comes into Golden One Center and shoots 94% from three. What did you say they were the other night? 10 of 40?
10 of 47 or
10
something.
of 47. They come into Golden One Center and, oh, my God, they're so hot. That's crazy. How are they this hot? It's because they don't play defense.
Yeah. But tilt your eyes, same group, you're like, well, they swept Cleveland. They swept Houston. They won in Boston.
And they're going to do that again this year. Not that specifically, but when you play like them and you do have talent, there's going to be nights where the other team's off. There's going to be nights when you're on fire.
Sure.
Let's not mistake that for they announce their presence defensively with authority and impose themselves on other teams. No, they
did not
play the same crappy defense every night, and some nights the other team's just not going to be able to hit, and you're going to get a win. Some nights teams like Cleveland and Boston aren't going to be up for you. They're going to be like, it's the Kings. Oh, my God, they're on fire. They can't miss. Those nights are going to happen, and then you're going to beat all the teams that are worse than you. I say all the teams. There's like 7, but you're going to beat those teams that are worse than you. I'm simply submitting that this town, media and fans, had the Kings played like the Raptors played last night defensively and had they won the game, I think I wouldn't say the town would be on fire, but I think the town would be hot and smoking right now. And we'd be, think about it. We'd be like, wow, you can really see Doug's imprint on this team. These guys are playing defense like they haven't before. This could be the start of something really surprising.
Okay, so as a counter, that feel that you're describing was the fourth quarter. So is it an unfair look at the young guys? Look what they did. Oh, my gosh. I want that for 82. Isn't that what's happening right now?
Rasay Fox yelled at me about 3 years ago online, and we never really spoke again because I had the take that anyone who's been on this team longer than 3 seasons had to go, including Fox, including Harrison Barnes, that you're here and you get infected. You get infected in the locker room and you get infected by the franchise. It's like a sickness, and the only cure for it is to go to another team, and oftentimes you still don't recover. To your point, when I saw what's great about that unit last night, they're not infected yet. They have not been decultured by our lack of culture. They have not been beaten down. Domantas Sabonis, I am such a fan of his. He brings it every night. I'm not saying, imagine thinking I'm saying DeMar DeRozan and Domantas Sabonis are bad for team culture. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I think they get so mentally beat down year after year after year dealing with this. And the fact that we're so depressed I'm so depressed after last year and all the crap that went on. How do you think these guys feel? How do you think they feel going from Mike Brown and De'Aaron Fox and the Beam team to I'm Malik Monk. I heard my name in trade rumors all summer. I'm DeMar DeRozan. I'm 74 years old, and I'm going to win 30 games this year. I'm Zach LaVine. I'm in my prime right now, and nobody's going to give a crap in April. I'm Domantas Sabonis. I look like Wolverine, as he said, because I get so scarred and bloody every single night, and it's like Randy Moss on the Raiders, dude. Except that Domantas Sabonis is running the cross routes, and he's getting hit. Randy Moss ducked everything and sucked with the Raiders and then magically reimagined himself in New England with Tom Brady. I think it's very similar here. So when I see, to your point, when I see the Kings' young, infected group last night, that gives me hope, and that's what I want. But the problem is that when you have the rest of that disease still on the roster, eventually it's going to infect those guys.
Yeah, I guess my point was if that first group did the Toronto thing last night, a lot of people would be really excited about that. So I think the last group did it, and I think there's a understandable excitement about
you're
that.
right.
Understandable.
No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's not everything. It's just one game of preseason. We could be having a totally different conversation after game 2. It's not something based on the past I'm expecting. I would love to be pleasantly surprised. We'll take a break. When we come back, Kelly Brothers, you're good at business. He'll join us next.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sactown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader. Ooh.